In this package, state government to tap from experiences of retired permanent secretaries. More than 150 widows empowered by the state government. And former National Security Advisor to ex-President Goodluck Jonathan granted bail. We have details of these and other stories. Good morning to you, and thank you for joining us for the news at dawn. My name is Mandu Isianabo. The Deputy Governor, Mr. Moses Ekpo, says the state government will draw from the experiences of retired permanent secretaries in its quest to develop Akwa Ibom. Mr. Ekpo, who stated this when he received the Association of Retired Permanent Secretaries at Government House, Uyo, said the present administration believes in government of inclusiveness. The Deputy Governor stated that any government that wants to succeed cannot afford to ignore inputs from retired permanent secretaries. Mr. Ekpo promised to take up the request for the harmonization of pension payment to all permanent secretaries during next Executive Council meeting and express gratitude on behalf of government and Akwa Ibom people to the retired officers for their contributions to the development of the state, especially during the early times of the state creation. The Deputy Governor noted with joy that they left the service meritoriously and assured of continuous interaction with the association.
I am very much aware that there is no reason why a forward-looking government should not be partnering with people who make up this association, people of your caliber, because the government will lose nothing, rather it will earn enormously in tapping into your very rich experiences, which we together accumulated over the years.
The Association of Retired Permanent Secretaries, in an address presented by the President, Mr. Francis Ikpe, stated the group's resolve to support the government to improve the welfare of the citizenry through its policies, programs and actions. Mr. Ikpe said the association has been involved in the organization of seminars for management staff of local governments, donation of exercise books in support of the free and compulsory education, workshops for officers in the director cadre and in the state government's employ, and many others. He pointed out that with the abundant technocrats of wide experiences in various fields of human endeavors, the association is poised to do more and appealed for financial support towards the completion of its secretariat project, provision of a 30-seater bus, harmonized pension payments to members, and improved welfare package.
Support and what is subsidy in improving the welfare of the citizenry through its policies, programs, and action. The association is particularly to God Almighty over the election and subsequent office as the states.
They thanked God for using Governor Dom Emmanuel to find Mr. Moses Ekpo to be his deputy and pledged to offer any assistance needed to effectively discharge his duties as the number 2 citizen of the state. The church has been reminded of its responsibility of preaching gospel of peace and rebuking people of sinful acts. This was part of the message by Governor Dom Emmanuel to Faithful of Assemblies of God, Nigeria, during the 5th anniversary of the Uyo East District of the Church. Governor Dom Emmanuel was represented by his deputy, Mr. Moses Ekpo. Patience John has the rest of the story.
The anniversary, which was to celebrate the 5th year since the church was given the Uyo East District, also featured the foundation laying ceremony for the church's headquarters and campground building. The guard of honor mounted by the Royal Rangers received the governor.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Governor Udom Emmanuel called on the church to partner with other religious-based organizations to address the challenges of corruption and other social vices in the society. He congratulated the church for embarking on the church building project, noting that it is in line with the philosophy of infrastructural development his administration is pursuing. The governor also thanked the church for supporting his ambition with prayers during his campaigns, which according to him has led to his victory at the polls.
in fact, the world is still deeply troubled by multifarious declining moral crisis. This, I believe, calls for the active partnership and collaboration of the church and all religious-based organizations if we are to surmount or stamp out the contemporary challenges of terrorism, cultism, killings, endemic corruption, and several other social vices plaguing society today.
The chairman on the occasion and Commissioner for Finance, Mr. Kanokun, thanked Governor Udom Emmanuel for coming back to the church to thank God as he promised. He said erecting a temple for God comes with blessings and called on all to join hands for the success of the project.
This assembly ground, God is not going to come down to build it for us. It is going to take the collective effort of all of us to offer willingly towards the building of this ground.
The Uyo East District Superintendent of the church, the Reverend Patrick Ofiong, appreciated Governor Udom Emmanuel for honoring the invitation of the church, notifying him that the construction of the campground with 10,000-seater capacity auditorium is estimated to cost 120 million naira and solicited financial support to help them realize the dream of the church.
We have, by the grace of God, remained irreversibly committed to our mandate of making Jesus Christ known. We undertook to sustain as priority the acquisition of this expanse of land to create a spiritual base from where we can incubate willing disciples and send them out to the nations.
In another development, the Deputy Governor, Mr. Moses Ekpo, has extolled Father Canis Ekpo for his humanitarian services to the people. The Deputy Governor, who was speaking during the celebration of Father Canis Ekpo's 50th birthday at the premises of the Mercy Hospital, Abak, said since his assumption at the Mercy Hospital, he has rehabilitated the hospital staff quarters as well as repositioned the hospital. Mr. Moses Ekpo called on staff to be diligent in their duty and work harder to raise the standard of the hospital to enable it to be of benefit to those in need of its services.
Father, congratulations. 50 years is a good age, and you're still strong, and you're converting your entire energy to look after those who are not very privileged. I don't know why God will not continue to bless you.
The Catholic Bishop of Ikorekmene, Bishop Camille Zumo, and the chairman of the birthday celebration, Dr. Emmanuel Abraham, encouraged people to imitate the example of Father Canis by giving back to the society. They appreciated his hard work and wished him well in his future endeavors. The celebrator, Reverend Father Canis Ekpo, thanked God for sustaining him for 50 years. He described his sojourn in the Mercy Hospital as challenging and solicited for financial support in aid of the hospital.
I thank the Almighty God for His benevolence to me, for the quality of life He has granted me for the past 50 years. I thank Him for the gift of my parents, my siblings, and all my relatives and friends. I thank Him for the gifts of today.
Patience John reporting.
And still on news this morning, the Commissioner for Women Affairs and Social Welfare, Dr. Glory Edet, has appealed to well-to-do individuals to rise up and render help to widows in their respective communities, no matter how small, as government alone cannot do everything. Dr. Edet made the appeal while empowering more than 150 widows to start small-scale businesses. The empowerment took place at the Women Development Center, IBB Way, Uyo, courtesy of the state government through the Ministry of Women Affairs and Social Welfare. Dr. Edet called for the protection of the rights of widows and stoppage of all forms of discrimination, violence, and obnoxious practices against widows, saying that the Ministry of Women Affairs will not fail to make culprits face the full weight of the law. The Commissioner called on women to support and pray for the present administration to succeed, explaining that the empowerment exercise is a yearly event aimed at assisting widows to unburden some of the loads and make them feel sense of belonging. Dr. Edet urged the widows to have faith in God, as God can never abandon them. Papers were presented on small business and poverty reduction by Director Cooperatives, Bureau of Cooperative and Food Sufficiency, Mrs. Victoria Okporo, and living a healthy lifestyle by a chief nursing officer in the state, Mrs. Grace Ekana. Despite the state's directive for commercial drivers to load and upload at approved motor parks within the Uyo capital city, it has been observed that loading and offloading of passengers on the roadsides have returned. Etienne Oiba yesterday went to such illegal motor parks to find out why the drivers are flouting government's directive.
A visit to some locations within Uyo Metropolis revealed activities of some commercial drivers and loaders who beckon on pedestrians with traveling intention to patronize their vehicles despite government efforts restricting loading at unauthorized places. These illegal activities by commercial drivers are noticed at such locations as Accra Road by UBA, Accra Junction and Ikorekpene Road. Calabar to Highway by Urekwa Junction is not left out, as the loaders and drivers hide nearby to source for passengers going to Calabar as they alight from tricycles. At such points, the drivers or loaders park their vehicles on the roadside, lean on them casually, while chanting the locations to pedestrians as they walk past. Others walk closely to passengers to inquire from them their destination and then proceed to direct them to loading vehicles. The re-emergence of roadside loading and offloading of passengers has become a source of concern to the chairman, Interim Park Management Committee, Mr. Maurice Edet, who described the situation as terrible and dangerous to passengers. Mr. Edet listed some negative effects associated with roadside loading and appealed to the public to always patronize government-approved motor parks to guarantee their safety, protection, and comfort.
Because the most interesting part of the defense is that the security and the protection the passengers are not guaranteed. Their safety, because they can pick you anywhere and drop you anywhere. They can pick you anywhere, drop you anywhere. Your security, your safety is not even there. Unlike here, if you come in here and you take a car to Calabar anywhere, your safety is there. And we have a manifest, and we know that you were loading at here in this park, either at the tap or somewhere else. But when you stand by the roadside, we are not safe.
Corroborating the views of the manager, Nwoku Park, Mr. Niedi Okon regretted that illegal park operation has robbed government of the desired internally generated revenue, which could be channeled into other areas of development.
Before the state task was dissolved, people started loading at the illegal parks. There has been a law that illegal parks in the premises should be dismantled. So recently at UBA, close to Plaza, they are loading. At the Accra Junction, they are loading.
Some of the drivers who load at unauthorized places spoke off camera, claiming they decided to do so since they do not want to wait for their turns at the motor parks, while some passengers said they paid less boarding vehicles along the roadside. Meanwhile, the ban on illegal motor parks by the Akwa Ibom state government is still in force, as re-echoed by the Commissioner for Transport, Prince Godwin Tugude, during an inspection of the 5 government motor parks within Uyo Metropolis. Etienne Oibanga reporting.
We now take a break. We'll be back with more reports. Please join us again.
The best of entertainment, incisive news, captivating and illuminating programs. The latest in politics, in-depth analysis of events, sports, and much more. Keep watching AKBC Channel 45.
Thank you for your time, and here are the rest of the reports this morning. God in Action Church, 45 Ebong Omo Itong Street, Uyo, on Sunday celebrated its 2015 Men's Fellowship Day. In her homily titled Divine Authority, the General Overseers of the Church in Action Church, Evangelist Felicia Enanuga, charged men to rise up and claim and be conscious of the authority given them by God, so as to be fearless in the face of life's challenges. Evangelist Enanuga said the authority given man by God should not be abused, and admonished the men to exhibit self-control, diligence, and to lead their families aright spiritually, while calling on the women to remain submissive to their husbands.
Is not standing. And as a man, you must claim your authority. Praise the Lord. Your wife is just to help you. But you are the one that will lead your children, your wife, your whole family to the altar. Just in the place where you can deal with the enemy.
The men's leader of the church, Elder Chris Nkang, while expressing gratitude to God for another Men's Day celebration, said the men's fellowship served to promote the core values of the family and church, exemplified through the peace in the various families of members as well as the church. Elder Nkang attributed the tremendous growth of the men's fellowship since the founding of the church in 1999 to the grace and blessings of God, while thanking the General Overseer for her prayers, as well as the members of the church from other branches for their show of solidarity.
Plays in the calendar of the God National Church takes the center stage in the activities of the men's fellowship. This is, however, without prejudice to the more religious aspects and features of the fellowship. Men, the God National Church, have continued to grow from strength to strength in matters of church development. And we hope to continue to dig further in with the envisaged numerical growth, which will be aided by a rugged and vigorous evangelism.
Highlights of the service was the presentation and dedication of a new pulpit and other accessories for the church altar donated by the men.
I will stand here and declare unto the witches and wizards they will bow. In the name of Jesus, I pray, Father, that on this pulpit, O Lord, on holy things, that when they buy your church, will never stand. Will never stand.
The Ministry of Health has frowned at sales, hawking, and advertisement and unregulated display of food and drug preparations in the state. The ministry has directed that sales, hawking, and distribution of those products, either in buses or whatever means, be discontinued forthwith. The directive is contained in a statement issued by the ministry and signed by the Director of Pharmaceutical Services, Mrs. Mary Okbongso, on behalf of the Commissioner, Dr. Dominic Okbong. According to the statement, the products are purported to be cleansers, bitters, food supplements, and other forms of herbal preparations. The products, according to vendors, claim to provide solutions to different types of ailment and disease, including hypertension, diabetes, malaria, typhoid fever, infertility, and cancer. The ministry noted that these claims by promoters of such products have not been scientifically substantiated by relevant regulatory authorities, explaining that reports have linked several unpleasant health consequences and problems of kidney failure and death due to the consumption of these products. According to the ministry, the Pharmaceutical Inspection Committee of the ministry has been strengthened to carry out surveillance and enforcement to apprehend and prosecute perpetrators of the act in line with the relevant provisions of the law. It advises members of the public to exercise caution in the consumption of unprescribed drugs or herbs. And from a foreign and national news, we have it that former National Security Advisor granted bail. Hurricane hits Cape Verde. We also will bring you Migranta in Hungary protests against the shutting down of Budapest train station. This and more with Samuel Ayar.
Security Advisor Colonel Dasuki Sambo, retired, has appeared in an Abuja court on charges of illegal possession of firearms. According to Nigeria's intelligence agency, firearms were seized from Dasuki's home during a recent raid, which informed he is being charged. Dasuki has, however, pleaded not guilty and was given bail on self-recognition. A hurricane with winds of up to 85 meters horsepower has hit the island nation of Cape Verde off the coast of West Africa. The hurricane, christened Fred, caused flights to be grounded as heavy rain and winds lashed northwestern island of the archipelago. Cape Verde is reported to have last recorded a hurricane in 1892. Hundreds of angry migrants demonstrated outside Budapest shuttered Eastern Railway terminus, demanding a reopen of the station to facilitate their travel to Germany. The large number of police deployed could not stem off migrants who clapped, waved tickets, booed and hissed at the disappointment of not being allowed entry into the train station. It is reported that a total of 3,650 migrants have arrived Vienna by train, a number that is seen as this year's biggest daily number. However, under the current European Union regulations known as the Dublin Provision, asylum seekers are expected to remain in the first European country they enter while having their applications processed. Dozens of people have been injured, with at least one dead recorded during violent clashes in front of the Ukrainian parliament in Kiev. This protest follows a move to decentralize the country through amendment of the country's constitution. The protest, which started at the Constitution Square in Kiev, has recorded over 3,000 radicals who are stoutly against the move.
Here is a reminder that you can also watch AKBC TV News online by logging onto akbconline.org or follow us on Twitter at AKBC450 or on Facebook at AKBC Channel 45. And here are the top stories of the bulletin. The state government is to tap from the experiences of retired permanent secretaries. The state deputy governor, Mr. Moses Ekpo, disclosed this when he received members of the Association of Retired Permanent Secretaries at Government House U. We also told you that more than 150 widows have been empowered by the state government. That's a package this morning. We'll bring you more news at noon. We do hope you join us again. Thank you for watching. And here is wishing you a very fine day.
I believe in Akwa Ibom.
I believe in the collective power
of you and I.
Together, we can build upon existing legacies
to birth the land of our dreams.
Let us work as one, devoid
of tribal sentiments and political differences.
Let's throw away violence
and embrace peace.
Let us work with government to make Akwa Ibom an industrial hub.
Create employment for our youths. Boost security, agriculture and healthcare. I am you, and you are me.
We are the future. We can make a difference.
Let's come together and embrace the new Akwa Ibom.
An Akwa Ibom under the leadership of our governor, Mr. Udom Gabriel Emmanuel.
For we believe in Akwa Ibom. is Promise Hung